Coffee Break with Jimmy, and today I really want to talk about what's going on here with our driver's license in California. I guess we revoked about 21, and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but I guess there's a lot of Muslims or are they Hindu? I don't know. They're getting illegal driver's license to drive semi-trucks, and it makes it dangerous when you're driving down the highway. I had a friend of mine call me this morning, and he was really upset with this whole thing about getting these driver's license, and because he's a truck driver himself. He had to take the classes. He failed the test a couple of times until he finally passed it. He's driving a truck now. But he thought this was, how do they get licenses? Well, the state of California, Governor Newsom, passed this to where illegals can come in here, undocumented people can come in here and get driver's license from other countries if they have the money to support. If you want to be a truck driver, they can give you a lease on a truck, or I don't know exactly what they do, but they're putting these people in business, and they're driving trucks. And there was another accident just yesterday with an illegal that couldn't speak any English, couldn't read the road signs, and they're driving semi-trucks. I've always, because I drive on the highway quite a bit in my work, and so I always pay attention to the trucks. They're bigger than I am. They can wipe you out in a second. It just takes one little mistake on their part, or even on yours. But you have to be careful around those. And now having people that are driving that don't have legitimate licenses, and they don't understand our roadways here and how things are done. And so I think this is something apparently to over 2,000 or 2,200, I guess 2,200 driver's licenses, or 22,000 driver's licenses were revoked from these illegal undocumented people here, getting jobs here driving truck. And then they start companies, and in their companies and their trucking outfits, they don't hire American drivers. They just hire these illegals here. And so they're and as you think back, this is kind of something that I think this is kind of going to balloon into something else. You think back 10, 20 years ago, maybe even a little bit longer, when all the minute marts around the country, in fact, I always said, I'll explain that in a second, but they all, before you know it, they're all run by Muslims, bought by Muslims, people coming from other, Middle East countries, and coming out here and starting businesses. Now these guys, most of them, for the most part, will speak English. Some of them learn English, and some of them have other languages they speak also. But they come over here and they start taking up all the minute marts, and little small grocery stores, and taking over that part of the country, basically. Don't think too much about it because it happens kind of subtly, maybe. Well, it's the same thing with these semi-trucks. They are starting these businesses. I did a podcast here a while back where there was there's a repair shop, a semi-truck repair shop. They fix tires, and I think, if you remember my podcast on this, I went over there because I had a tire going flat and wanted to see if they could fix my tire. It's on a regular truck, on a Chevy truck. And they asked me to wait a minute, please, one moment, English, no English. And he went over and got somebody that spoke English. He had a turban on. Both of them had turbans on. But so I assumed they were Muslim or, from India anyway, from the Mideast, okay? Now, they fixed my tire and everything, but every trucker that came into this place all had turbans on. They were all illegals. Most of them didn't speak any English, to what I can see. Now, I'm just saying what I saw. Maybe some of them did speak English, and maybe some of them were legitimate. But this whole truck stop area, now they had a couple of people in there that were Americans. You can tell, they're white and black, and they come in there and get service work done. but most of them were from the Mideast countries. And I thought that kind of weird. And now that they're having all these accidents and they're explaining it more, where they don't speak English. They can't read the road signs. These guys shouldn't have truck driver's licenses. I'm sorry, it just shouldn't happen. So anyhow, I guess 22,000. I think it's 22,000 licenses have been revoked in the state of California, and these came from Governor Newsom. Which brings me to another thing. I mean, they're going to vote for our California governor here in a couple of years. I know Steve Hilton, and they have, I'm not sure what his name is, but he's a sheriff from San Bernardino. And there's a couple of, Republicans that are running for governor of the state of California. And then they have a couple of guys, a big wealthy guy. My father-in-law told me about him this morning. And Eric Swalwell, I guess, is running for governor also. We don't need Democrat governors in the state of California. We need, and I'm talking to the people of California, Democrats, Republicans alike, independents. Start thinking about it. Think about what the Democrat Party has done to this state. We've talked about the bullet train to nowhere. It starts in, I was wrong. It doesn't start in Bakersfield. It starts in actually Shafter. And it goes from Shafter to Merced. And, most of you people listening to this probably don't even know where Shafter and Merced is, but it's Bakersfield, just past Fresno. And it's ready to over budget, okay? And it's supposed to go from Los Angeles to San Francisco. And I don't know how this thing is gonna work out, if it's even going to get finished. They've been working on it for so long, and they haven't even laid 1 foot of track yet. So, but this is the Democrat Party running the state of California. We've got the highest taxes. We've got the highest cost of living. We got homelessness like you wouldn't believe. And, excuse me. Anyway, the state is really, for the 4th or 5th largest economy in the world, this state is really going down the tubes. But we have everything here. It shouldn't be that bad, but it is. So I implore you, all of you, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, look at the Republican Party. See who they have. I know Steve Hilton is running, and I know there's a sheriff out of San Bernardino. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but this was just all this stuff was brought to my attention this morning, and I don't have all that information as far as who they are, but you have to. I'll do a little bit more about this tomorrow, but this was just brought to my attention today, and the people that are running, okay? We have to get a Republican governor here in the state of California. We have to turn this state around. And, I don't know if this gerrymandering is going to work out for Governor Newsom, and he's wanting to do this so that we can get more Democrat representation here for the House of Representatives. And I don't know if the court's going to stop that. I know the courts are apparently got a hold on the ones in Texas, and the ones in Texas were actually pushed by Democrats anyway, because they sued the state of Texas. And I don't know everything that goes on there, but they're supposed to be realigning Texas, and they may get 4 more seats in Texas. So that pushed California to say, well, we got to do some more gerrymandering so we can get more representation in California, which they've been doing for a number of years. The Democrats of California have been doing this for a long time. And when you vote for governor, the primaries are Democrats and Republicans primarying against one another. So the 2 top vote getters in the primaries run against one another. I've talked about this before. If they're 2 Democrats or 2 Republicans, that's not going to happen, but if they get 2 Democrats that win the primaries, well, then they run against one another. So we're going to have a Democrat governor here in the state of California. That's not going to work. We have to do something different, folks. Look what's going on here. Maybe we'll get a socialist like they have in New York. This Johann Mondami, I just talked about him yesterday when him and Trump had their meeting. Trump he's giving this guy some leeway here because he wants New York to work out. But this Mondami, I don't. I think his policies that he was talking about, about free trains, free buses, cut the taxes. A lot of this stuff can't be done by the mayor of New York anyway. It's got to be done by the governor of New York. And she's already said that it's not going to happen. This Kathy Mogul, Mogul is her last name, I think. She said that's not going to happen. So I think his hands are tied, and now he's looking, because he needs Trump's help now. He knows he's going to need federal dollars to help support New York. Trump will help him, but he's got to do some good things here, and once like I said, Trump's going to give him some rope, and if this guy's not too careful, this Mondami's not too careful, he may end up hanging himself. So we'll see what happens there. But you have governors and or mayors and that are socialists in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and Minneapolis is starting to get more and more, people that from Somalia and stuff that are moving in there. That they're starting to get more and more people that are voting to get. I mean, come on, socialist people, communists, from wherever they're coming from, whatever country they're coming from. They want to turn this country around. I don't see that happening right now, but in the slow process, like I told you, the convenience stores, the little small convenience stores, they're pretty much all Muslim now, almost all of them. And a lot of them are friends of mine. I know a lot of them. I got one here around the corner that I go into every day. They're real nice people, but I tell you what, maybe they have some ulterior motives here. And now with the trucking industry, and maybe our mayors of our large cities, like what's happening in New York, what's happening in Minneapolis. Now, the one that's in Minneapolis and the one that's happening there, but now we also have a socialist mayor in Seattle. And a lot of them are being voted in by Gen Zers. Okay, they've been indoctrinated into this liberal way, the Democrat way, and it's gone so far left. A lot of Democrats that are saying 30 and above or maybe 40 and above don't recognize the Democrat Party anymore because things are changing. So we have to get those people that are, been a Democrat Party for a long time and they see that it's not working. You have to come into the Republican Party. Well, let's call it the Common Sense Party, the MAGA Party with President Trump. He's the first president that we've had, and for as long as I can remember anyway, as long as I've known, that are actually doing things. He's saying this is what he's going to do, and he does it. So California, please use the Trump, the MAGA template, and let's turn California around. Let's not let this gerrymandering that Gavin Newsom's trying to put out. And Gavin Newsom, come on, he's going to run for president? Please. This guy, he's probably the worst governor we've ever had. Of course, he was a terrible mayor for San Francisco too. I mean, this guy's been around. Of course, he belongs to the Pelosi family. They're all related. Newsom can't run and win the presidency in the United States, and we can't. We just can't vote for him. And I hope the rest of the country sees that. And when he runs a Democrat primary, when they have that for president, I hope he loses that, because he would be the worst candidate we could possibly have running for the Democrat Party. And of course, we don't know who's going to be running for the Republican Party. I say Ron DeSantis. I say and J.D. Vance, of course, he's with Trump right now. Marco Rubio. We've got a lot of good candidates, and they would actually all work together. They can actually all be part of the same team, like they are right now. But we'll have to wait and see on that. But California, really, that Swalwell and this other guy, We can't have them. And of course, they're going to run, and Democrats, a lot of them are going to be saying, well, this is the Democrat. We're going to vote for Democrat. Think about what the Democrat Party has done to the state of California. We've got to reverse this. We've got to turn this around. And there's no better time than right now than the present. So I'll talk a little bit about more of this tomorrow. But this is just something to think about, and I'll have a little more information tomorrow too. So this is Coffee Break with Jimmy. And you like my new microphone here? I got this for my birthday today. Not the microphone, but this arm, my arm here, holding the microphone. My birthday's today, and I turned 65. And so I got this, and I got this Marine Corps coffee cup for the Marine Corps birthday. And so anyhow, this is Coffee Break with Jimmy. And please subscribe, share, press the like button, and the notification bell. We'll see you next time on Coffee Break with Jimmy.